Well, welcome to the November meeting of the Detroit Area Woodturners, everybody. Here, that's it. It's November. We've made it this far. What a crazy year. So I welcome everybody that's joining us today, and we have our friends from the UK and Australia and Alaska here again. So welcome, and let's get this show on the road. Do we have any guests here that haven't been here before? Unmute your mic and make yourself known.
Yes, this is my first time at this meeting. Robert Elliott invited me, and I'm from Canada.
Oh, Canada. Where about?
Ontario, right across from, right across Lake Ontario. I live in Whitby, which is 45 minutes east of Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
I saw somebody from the UK. Hasn't been with us before.
Hi, my name's Mark. I'm known as the Gentleman Woodturner. Dr. Bob invited me. I have a presence on YouTube, but I'm a fairly new woodturner.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else who's not been with us before?
Yeah, myself, novice woodturner in Melbourne, Melbourne, Australia.
Okay. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here with us today. Anybody else? Okay, and for those of you who are new with us, you'll see me looking down a lot, and that's basically looking at my notes and checking things off as I go along. So I'm not ignoring you or anything. So first thing I want to talk about is something that we kind of chatted about briefly in our social hour today. And I'm going to go back and highlight me. There we go. I was watching an Ashley Harwood video the other day, and she had a young man on who was a local artist that she's friends with. And he was talking about his connection to the community, his connection with his arts. And he brought up a point that I found very interesting, and that is we as artists and craftsmen, that's our connection to each other, and that's our connection to the community and to the people around us. There was a time before big box stores where if you bought anything, it was made by a craftsman. It wasn't made in a factory somewhere. And then, you know, art has always connected people, whether they realized it or not, whether they were into art or not. Always connected us. And us as woodturners, it connects us and makes us essentially a family of creators, which is something that we have always strived for here in the Detroit area woodturners. And that's that connection, helping each other, teaching each other, and being a family of artists. Something I've always been very proud of in this club. And another thing that he mentioned was he's hearing from people that they're just not going down in their shops or doing anything. And I've heard from a couple members of the club that they go down in their shop and they stand there and they just don't feel like doing anything. And, you know, that's the pandemic depression kicking in. Everybody's dealing with it. And I fully understand it. And I didn't realize it till one of our members mentioned it to me that I've been in the same rut. I have not been in my shop for anything other than Zoom meetings in the last 3 weeks. I have not turned or created anything. So I'm going to be remedying that this week with a project that I'm going to talk about later on in the meeting for our workshop next week. So all I can say on that is I understand, and sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you just don't feel like it. But try to keep yourself connected. Try to get yourself down in the shop, even if you don't turn anything. You know, practice. You know, practice with the skew. That's something I need hours and hours of. You know, I'm experimenting with resin, playing around with resin, not in a big scale, more as an enhancement type of thing. But just, yeah, try to get that time down in the shop, because I think everybody realizes that your time in your shop is your time. It's what makes you feel better. It's what keeps you connected with what you're doing and the art and your friends. So yeah, try to beat that depression. Try to get down there. this is what we're all about. And if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, call somebody in the club. Call me if you need to talk to somebody about it. I'm here. I always take calls from folks. I'm very open to that. Remember, you're an artist, you're a craftsman. No matter what level of turning you are an artist and a craftsman. And that is something that you've got to constantly work at, no matter how long you've been doing it. So get down in that shop and spend some time doing something. Next item, membership renewal time. Last month we announced that we had links available so that you can renew online to make it a little bit easier. And we are starting to see people renewing online. As of 11 o'clock today, and that's Eastern Standard Time, we've had 11 online renewals. So I encourage you to do that. As many of you remember earlier in the year, with the combination of all the mix-ups with the pandemic and everything, the mix-ups of changing over from one person to another, handling the membership and everything, we had some checks lost in the mail. We had some things that didn't get recorded properly that we had to fix. My thought is I'd like to get everybody to use the online if you're feeling comfortable with that and get renewed now. Let's get it done before the end of the year, which will help alleviate a lot of that mix-up. Now, if you don't feel comfortable using online or using your credit card, you can use the same old method we've always used. You can go to the club information tab on the website and download the form, fill it out, and send that with a check to Cindy Yates, our membership person. And she will get you recorded into the log as being a member for 2021. And if you renew now, your membership carries all the way through to December of 2021. We don't prorate or anything like that. So it's very simple, and you got a choice online. You got a choice between individual membership or family membership. You just click on the link, enter your card information, and you're ready to go. So I encourage everybody to check that out. Workshop. We've got a very interesting workshop coming up next Saturday. And it's a little bit different from what we've been doing. And I'm going to ask Paul Newberger to unmute himself. And I'm going to find you so I can highlight you. And I'd like you to have you explain it because Paul did all the footwork on this, putting it together. There you are. Let me get you highlighted. Okay, Paul.
Okay, so I was at the Worldwide Turner Symposium maybe in September, and it was all virtual, of course. And there was a couple of videos that were really interesting, and I said to Jeff, I think we could do something with one of the guys. And the guy his name is Raleigh Lockhart, and he makes bowls that look like leaves, and he has a whole story about how and why he does it. So we hooked up with him. The video is on our website under members only, and then you go to videos and you can click it, and his video is there. It runs about an hour. There's other videos online, of course, that you can show how to do it. But I encourage you to try this for a number of reasons. One is, after making 2 leaves, and I've got 2 more ready to rock and roll, 3 more ready to rock and roll, I thought about other things that I could do with this process. And one of them is, of course, I'm being a sick individual that I am, I'm thinking of making 1-cell organisms, And then yesterday I took 5 or 6 apple stems and glued them onto one of these things that I made, and now I have a stem cell. Okay, boo. But anyway, what you're gonna need to do this workshop, he shows you using double stick tape. I use hot glue. You could use a worm screw to attach it. He uses a 4/4 cherry and maple to do them. But what you're going to need most of all is a leaf. When you can get a leaf pattern from online, or you can still get some decent leaves outside, and you need a relatively large leaf, but not ginormous. So I have, this is a white oak leaf that I did that I'm going to do. and I cut it out on the bandsaw. He cuts his out on a scroll saw. Again, you're going to have to modify to whatever. This one happens to be a buttercup leaf that I found someplace. And the third one I have is, it's a white mulberry. So anyway, I don't know which one I'm going to turn next Saturday, but I really encourage you to get down in your shop on Saturday, tune in, and we're going to do it. And at the very end, or sometime during the turning portion of this, Raleigh is going to join us and kind of look in and see what we've turned. So I think if you have a faceplate that you can make into a mount a piece of wood onto, and then you can hot glue onto that, or a worm screw, and if you can bandsaw a leaf, you should be able to do this. It's pretty simple, but the possibilities are pretty endless. So I encourage you to try it.
May I ask a question, Paul?
Sure.
Why does it make sense? Why do you cut the leaf out before you turn it? Would it make more sense to turn a bowl and then cut it, make the cutout? What's the difference?
The difference is you're going to be able to center the piece and get the end thicknesses all together the same thickness, and you'll end up, because you end up turning, the leaf is not just flat on the end, you kind of roll it back on itself like we did with, oh God, what's the guy, Mike Sorge, where we turn things in through and out, the front and back, in and out. So if you wouldn't have anything flat to actually jigsaw out or bandsaw out.
Thank you.
But
Okay,
I really encourage people to give this a try. I think it's going to be fun.
I think so too. Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm trying to get back in. Let me get myself spotlighted again. You know, I'm trying to get back in the shop, and I've got mine all ready to cut out, and I'm going to cut it out in the bandsaw. I've got a scroll saw, but it's an old one. It's not speed adjustable. And
Right.
so, and I don't have any leaves. I cleaned them all up finally. So
Yeah. Well,
I just
yeah.
went online and cut that, or found that online. And
Yeah, the one other thing is when you do cut your leaf out, you want the grain to be running the length of it.
right.
If you turn it this and you run the grain the opposite way, all this will fall off as you're turning. So your grain has to be running close to vertical.
Okay, so as I do this, it should be like this then.
Which way is your grain going?
Grain's going. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm wrong. I had it right the
Yes.
first time.
Yes,
That way.
yes. Your grain should be running lengthwise.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. And that'll be in the video.
It's
And
all, yeah, it is in the video.
you can watch the video as many times as you like. It's just a link on our website, and it'll take you into the YouTube. So,
And there's no reason why you couldn't like get a picture of one and print it out bigger if you wanted to make a bigger bowl or something else.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I went with this size because that's essentially the size that Raleigh used in his video. So, okay, any questions on the workshop? Okay, that link will be coming out later this week, and it'll be the usual time. It'll be 10 to 12 o'clock. So I'm encouraging everybody to get on our website and take a look at that video and see if it's something you want to do. It'll be the most intricate thing I've ever done yet. And I know that probably doesn't sound intricate to other people, but you know, for me, that's kind of really going outside of my comfort zone. So it'll be interesting. Could be a
Jeff, you said you went with that size. What size is that size?
on mine.
Yeah,
Oh, it's about 6.5 by 6.5.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and Raleigh has turned them as small as 2 inches in diameter and as large as, 12, 14, 16 inches. So anything in between will work.
Yeah, and I was thinking too, it might be kind of fun after we do this, just to experiment with other shapes like animals of some sort, frogs or things like that. Something where it's a contained image.
It's exactly, he does bats also if you want. So
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
there's a ton of different shapes you can do.
Yeah, regarding the wood size, what I suggest is you find a piece of wood that you're going to use and then make your drawing according to the wood.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to go backwards, you know, the other way, you might not find the wood for the drawing that you have. So that's what I would do.
Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay, look forward to seeing you at the workshop. Mark Wallace brought to my attention, and now I have since seen this on Facebook, but Woodturners Retreat is having a 1-day, 8-hour-long interactive remote demo. It's going to be 12 demos by 8 professional turners, and the registration is $20. And Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, that's on December 12th, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is on December 12th.
Okay, very good. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to this one or not, but I encourage you to go to woodturnersretreat.com and check out what they have there about it. Ron Campbell's also got information on Facebook about it, and it might be an interesting thing. It's not a whole weekend's commitment; it's just 1 day. So did want to bring that up. And Mark, thank you for bringing that to my attention. Once again, we're looking for demo volunteers for 2021. We are going to do a few more professional demonstrators next year, since we can do this through interactive remote. But we'd like to see some fresh faces from the club. Excuse me. You know, do a demo. Like I said, I'm working on one myself, and when I feel comfortable doing that, I'll do it. But as we've seen in the past, it's not a complicated thing to do. You can even pre-record it like Cindy Yates did. We've had a couple now where all they've had was a simple phone, and they were talking to the phone, and then they just moved the phone down to the work, and they did their demo. And today's demo is Mike's actually got it pre-recorded, so he can talk through the recording. So it's actually not a hard thing to do. And Chuck Lobato has always offered that if you don't feel comfortable with having to deal with the video part of it in that, he'll come to your house or to your shop and do the videotaping for you so that you don't have to deal with that. You can just do your turning and teaching. So I urge you to think about that. And if you'd like to give it a try, let us know. You can contact Mark Wallace or myself. And if you have questions, contact us and ask us. You know, we're here for you. So, and hopefully we'll see your smiling face up there doing a demo. Well, I would love to see some new faces. I've talked about this in the past, but the Pontiac Creative Arts Center, our home that we haven't been able to meet at for quite a few months now, they're doing a special sale of artistic items in their store that have been made by members and of the PCAC, and they've invited us, anybody who wants to put any of your items in there for their sale. They're doing it to raise money for the art center. The split will be 70% for the artists and 30% for them. I've got 2 items up there right now, and I'm probably going to be sending a 3rd one over this week. So if you are interested in putting a couple items in their store, you can contact them at, where's my notes here? At office@pontiacarts.com, or you can contact Joy by phone or text at her telephone number, which is out on our Facebook announcement. I will have it, I will repost it on Facebook again, and I will have the information out on our website on the homepage. I just don't want to give out the telephone number here in an open forum like this. So hopefully we'll see some other DAW stuff up there. Now, the most important part of our meeting today is elections. It is November. We announced last week elections were coming up. December is when we instill new members of the board. All positions are open, including mine. If you are interested in a position on the board, and there is no position that's complicated or hard. I think everybody on the board will tell you this is not a difficult thing, including being president. You know, I've got a wonderful group of people on my board who are all dedicated to making this club great, and they all work at their jobs and make it easy on me as the president. But if you want to be part of that, today is the day that you need to nominate yourself. Or if you want to nominate somebody, I only ask that that person is here today who's being nominated by somebody else and can say, yes, I'm willing to run for that position. Two positions that we do have open, because these people are going to be stepping down from them, is, where's my notes again? Here we go. Is going to be the video operator. That was Paul Newberger for many years, and he took care of getting the cameras and things set up at our live meetings. He's stepping down from that, and so we're going to need somebody to step into that position. And it's not a complicated one. You just got to be there early, and you'll always have help. There's always people there to help you set up the video cameras and stuff when we get back into the Creative Arts Center. The other position is our culinary position, which is the person that handled food and stuff for our special events. John George is stepping down from that. So we definitely need those two positions filled. All the other positions, we're looking for anybody who is interested in giving it a try. And we're always going to be there to help you along the way. This is not going to be a tough thing. So I'm going to take a couple minutes here. I'm going to ask anybody who is interested in running for a position to please unmute your mic and identify yourself and what position you would be interested in.
I'm here to tell you the library is open also.
Okay.
If someone would like the library.
Which is not a hard job either.
It is not.
No.
And I have a whole case of brand new books.
Oh, there we go.
Or books that were donated.
Okay.
That's it.
So anyways, anybody want to unmute and nominate themselves or somebody else for a particular position?
Yeah, this is Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
Mark wanted to give up his vice president chair position. So I'd like to nominate myself.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's write this down. Mark, will you be going after any positions? Mark Wallace, I should say.
I know that Mark wanted to take over membership chair for me.
Right. And I think that's still the case. I don't know. He may not have unmuted.
He might have lost video.
Anybody else?
Here.
What was that?
I'm willing to take the membership if nobody else wants it.
Very good. Thank you. Anybody else interested in a position? Unmute your mic.
This is Ed Wilkemeyer.
Hi, Ed.
Hi. Yeah, I'd be interested in the library position if that's available.
I don't think Dave will have any problems with that. Right, Dave?
It is available. Congratulations. No, it's you'll do fine with it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hey, this is Alfred. I'll keep my position if nobody else wants it.
Okay. Thank you.
If anybody wants a store, they're welcome to it.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Chuck. I will keep my position.
Chuck, you're with us.
Hey, where's Ben?
Thought you were going to be up north.
It's too wet and rainy to hunt. 40-mile-an-hour winds 20 feet up in a tree is no fun in the rain.
It is not too wet and rainy for drinking. Excuse me.
Okay.
That was yesterday.
We're getting off subject there, but so Chuck's not a swamp walker either. So okay, last call before we move on. Anybody want to put themselves in for a position? Okay, as your president, I can do one more term after this, and if nobody wants that position, then I will be more than happy to continue as your president. I have enjoyed this year, even though it's been a very strange one and not the way I would have liked to have done it. But I'm going to say at this point, I talked about the board and how great the board is and how wonderful the people are to work with. You have a very strong board who is dedicated to making this club the club it is. And one of the biggest jobs we've had this year was keeping this club viable, keeping this club interesting, and keeping everybody connected, as I talked about. And I think we did an exceptional job. I think the board has really went above and beyond the call of duty to help with that. And I want to take this at this point to say thank you to the board for helping me along the way. And if nobody steps into running for president, then I will be more than happy to continue on. So, okay, that's it for the elections. We talked briefly about this at the social hour, but just a reminder, Alan Stratton is running his yearly ornament challenge, and we've got till November 30th to get it in, and our goal was to get as many people from the club to enter into this and list the club on the application form, because Alan will give a free demo to any club that has the most members that send photos in. So I'm hoping that'll be us. You can find out more about it if you haven't already by going to aswoodturns.com/challenges, and that'll take you to the page with the rules and the form to fill out. And it's essentially you just take a picture of the ornament. And this year the rule is anything you feel you can call an ornament qualifies. So it doesn't have to hang on a tree. It can sit on the shelf, like Cindy's trees. Who was it earlier? They're showing the trees they made with the glitter on it. You know, it can be something like that. If you feel comfortable calling it an ornament, then it qualifies. And you've got till November 30th to get those images in. And then soon after that, he will have a YouTube video where they announce the winner. So once again, that's aswoodturns.com/challenges. And I believe we got that information on our website. So you can just go there and click on it. If you don't know already, our December demo is going to be a professional demo with Carl Jacobson. He is going to be joining us from, where's he at? Is he out in Utah? Or someplace like that. And he is going to turn a beer stein.
Oregon.
Where was that?
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay, I knew something like that. So he's gonna demo making a beer stein, including the handle, which I find very interesting. Now, because this is a professional demo, it's going to be members only. So, and that's what we've done in the past, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Now that doesn't mean you have to sign up for 2021 to be qualified for this. If you're a member now, you're good through the end of the year. So anyways, that will be in our December meeting. Will be Carl Jacobson. And if you haven't seen Carl Jacobson, I encourage you to go on YouTube and look up his channel and look at the stuff he does. He's got to be the most creative guy I have ever seen. And he's not like a lot of the other channels where one channel makes something and everybody else makes it. He's always ahead of everybody doing something very uniquely different. One of my favorites was the beehive box. Check them out if you haven't. Also, for December, that will be our Christmas meeting. Unfortunately, it will not be a party like we've done in the past. So no food. You can bring food to the meeting, but it's going to be a meeting. So that's why we've got the Carl Jacobson demo in there to do something very special. We will not have a President's Challenge. We will replace that with the Christmas Challenge, which will be a Christmas ornament, since today Mike is going to be showing us how to do that. So that will be the Christmas Challenge for December. So, and that takes care of that. And that meeting will be 1 week early. It will be on the 13th, if I remember right, because of Christmas. So we'll be doing that a week early. So is there any questions or anything that anybody wants to ask or cover before we move on? Unmute your mic.
The English woodturners, Robbo Robertson from Australia, are running a virtual arts thing. Starts at 10 o'clock, I think, on Saturday UK time, and runs through until 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning their time. And there's 1 hour stints of turners from all around the world demonstrating things. There's also sometimes potters and glass makers and various other things. Yeah, so I can't put a link in at the moment, but that's worth a look too. Carl Jacobson organises the American side of it, and Jamie organises the English side of it. And it's well worth a look.
Can you guys put, what's that, Matt?
Who's that through, Rubble?
Sorry, Matt, I'm having trouble hearing you because you're so far away from the mic.
Who's that through? Who's managing that? Who is managing that presentation?
Jamie, Mark would be able to tell you. Mark from the UK.
Jamie Page.
Jamie Page, that's right. He's the English organizer. The American one is actually Carl Jacobson.
Okay. Can you guys, one of you guys get something on our Facebook page about that?
I'll definitely do that in the next couple of days. I'm getting the information now.
It's always fun to see what they're doing over the pond.
No worries.
Okay. Any other questions or comments or anything?
Yeah, what date is that English thing? What date is that English program?
This Saturday?
This Saturday? Okay.
Yeah, it's the 21st, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I'll put the information up on your webpage anyway.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else, folks? Well, then I would say it's time for our demo. I'm going to spotlight Mike. And Mike, I'm turning it over to you, my friend.
Okay. So about a month and a half ago, Mark called me up and wanted me to do a demo on my Christmas ornaments. And I thought that, like, my quick answer that I didn't have Wi-Fi in my shop would be the end of it. But Mark convinced me that I should make a video and I could present it from inside my house and maybe stop it once in a while and ask questions, see if people had questions and stuff. So that's what we're doing. And I made a short video. I'm going to start the program off with a little visit of my shop. And then we'll stop for just a second and we'll continue on after that. So here's a little visit to my shop. It's my wood shop. I built it about 6 years ago.
I like that you got the fire alarm outdoors.
Yeah. Actually gave me a chance to clean my shop a little bit.
Which means you'll never find anything again.
I was gonna say that, Mike. I never seen your shop that clean.
Mm-hmm. It's a Rose engine lathe. Here's McGovern that's for Matt. See that box of wood? I like to cut branches and save them for about a year and then use them after they're dried out for a year. That lathe was made in 1895.
You end up with Popeye legs if you use that a lot.
Did you buy that new mic right off at the store?
Yeah, I bought it. Sears, out of the Sears catalog. When the Tigers won the World Series. Okay, I'm going to go back to talking for just a second. So let's see. How do I highlight myself on the screen? Is it possible?
If you're already spotlighted, Mike, you just stop sharing your screen and it should go back.
Okay. So I'm not sure how I get big on the screen again.
Go down to the bottom and where the different buttons come up, and you should be able to stop sharing your screen.
Okay, stop sharing.
There
All
you
right.
go.
There you go.
So just go back and forth like that.
All righty. So probably about 12 years ago, someone posted this on the internet, and I made one. So what I did was you just take a rectangular piece of wood, and here I glued in a bunch of different veneers and cut some holes and filled them with plugs that I made up. And then what you do after that is you take on this end, and once you turn it around, you go ahead and you create, once you turn it around, something like that, you create a tenon that you cut off. So I had this tenon right there as I was turning. You part it off, you put it aside, and then you drill a hole inside your sphere and you hollow it out. So once you do that, it makes it a lot lighter. And then you take the tenon that you pulled out and you play around with the opening so that the tenon will fit back in. And in this one, I made it perfect so that when I fit the tenon back in, the grain was a perfect match. And then I put a couple rings in there, and you can't see the glue line anymore. So people don't know where that comes from. And then once you have that, I have a whole bunch of finials that I turn, and I've got maybe 20 or 30 of them on a pile, and I put them there, and then I'm able to take different finials and put them in with the different spheres that I've turned and play around until, like, this sphere is not perfectly round. It comes like a hot air balloon. And so you just try different finials in there and play with it. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn something now. I'm using only 4 gouges, and I'm using a parting tool. I'm using, I got a small little carbide that I made that I use for hollowing. And then I have a detail gouge, and I use a bedan to rough it out. I used to use a skew and just, use a peeling cut with the skew to get that rectangular piece round. I found I like the bedan a little bit better. I can just move faster with it. And I only had half an hour to 40 minutes to make this video. So I'm going to start up with that right now. So that's a bedan. Just making the rectangle round. I'd much rather be in my shop doing this for you right now, but I don't have Wi-Fi out there, so I tried this method. Well, I'm going to measure the roundness of it and see what my diameter is. And, well, first I guess I'll face it off, and then I'll do that. I don't really need to face it off right now, but so there's the diameter of my piece. So now I know about how big my sphere will be, and then I'm just judging by my eye how big of a tenon I want to make and still have enough room to turn the sphere. It's a pretty aggressive detail gouge. What I'm trying to do is, that's a 5/8 Forstner bit. I want to use the 5/8 bit to drill the hole in my piece. So I need to make my tenon be about a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller on either end of that 5/8. So I'm where I'm at now. So I'm just going to part off this tenon. I tried just parting them off, but they're so small that, and I tried to catch them, they just want to fly, so I cut it at the end. So now I already measured how far I can go in. I've got a little mark on that Forstner bit with a Sharpie, and that's where I'll drill that deep. So now I'm just eyeballing how far I can go before I, where the end of my sphere will be. And I'm going to cut a little access there so I can turn the sphere down on that side. That's a carbide bit. I made that tool myself a long time ago. I think before most of the carbide tools were out. I saw it listed on, some people posted how they made them on Wood Central. It's a great site. Well, I got a lot of stock in the back of the thing. That's why I hollowed out some now. Now I'm going to take it, turn it into a sphere, and then I'll hollow out some more.
Hey, Mike, the hole you drilled with the Forstner bit, it does not go all the way through, correct?
Correct. I will be drilling another hole for the tenon, or for, I'm sorry, for the finials in a little while with a 5/16 bit that'll go from the top of the tenon all the way through. So now I'm just seeing how big my opening is. The difficult part is trying to get an angle on that hole there to be the same angle as the tenon that you cut off. If you don't have the right angle, it's going to be too separate when you go to glue it on, and you'll see a glue hole where it only hits at the bottom of the hole, or maybe only at the top. And so I play with it until I get it good. Right now, I'm just opening that hole just a little bit to take the tenon better. I like to hollow them out because when you got a hollowed out sphere and you got a nice thin finial, they hang on the tree so much better than some big clunky thing that you try to give to somebody or sell to somebody, and it weighs the branch down and everything. These become fairly delicate. what I've also done in the past is I've drilled holes in that sphere right now along its the axis of the lathe there. I'll maybe drill like 3-4 holes, about an 1/8 inch hole. And then when I'm hollowing, I can see with the hole how thick my wall thickness. And by drilling the holes, I've done that because I know that I will eventually pierce the piece. I've got a couple spheres that I pierced. I'll be able to show you in a little while. So that it doesn't make any difference that you drill the holes or not. So I think now I've got the right size. I use medium CA glue. I just had this camera hanging from my lights up above me, and never took videos before, and this is the first time, so I apologize.
That's nice and clear.
So this is a 5/16 bit, just a little bigger than a 1/4 inch. And I take this and go all the way through, which is, it's kind of nice because what it does is it gives you a perfect center line for your top and bottom finials. And now I'll part off the rest of that. When you use an accelerator, it's already dry enough to go ahead and turn that off. So I'll turn it off. I used to, when I first started doing these, I used to turn them perfectly round with the sphere. And then I realized, you know, I'm going to be putting a finial on that has, if I try to make the finial so it fits the sphere, I got to play with that. So I just make them flat now, make the finial flat, make the sphere flat. And they go on a lot easier. And I cut all the tenons on my finials. I cut them off so that they're all 5/16. And so I've got about 30 of them that I can interchange to see which one fits good on there or not. So I'm pretty happy with the way that looks right now. I use a pen chuck. I'll show you that in a minute, but I use a pen chuck when I'm all done. Even after I parted it off, you can finish it when it's on the lathe right now. But I found that I've made so many of them that I don't know which color I want to make it or what I'm going to do with it. So I got a pen chuck that has I think it's a 1/4 inch, but the sphere sits on it really nice. You can tighten it down and you can sand and dye it and do whatever you want to after you've got it off of the chuck. So that's just, you know, a couple different finials there I tried and just play around with. Does there anybody have any questions up to this point? Okay, I'm trying to make it as thorough as I can, but I'm trying to also move through it so that we get it all done. Right now I'm cutting the finial for the bottom of the sphere. I'm sorry, no, this is the top. They only have to be about 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches long. They don't need to be very big. They just fit on top of the sphere just to hold the hook and stuff. This one's pretty basic. So I'm using a little wrench, a 5/16 wrench that I try to fit it over the tenon to see if it's a good size to fit in, and that one was. So now I can part it.
That's a brilliant idea too.
I didn't think of it. Someone showed me that years ago.
Yeah.
There's a video to make wrenches into parting tools.
Yeah. So now out of one piece of wood, I'm going to try to get the top and the bottom finial, which I'm pretty cheap when it comes to my wood. So especially pieces like this, I don't have a whole lot more 2-inch by 2-inch pieces in my shop. I have to get hold of Victor. So I don't use a tailstock when I'm doing my finials. I do a little bit at a time, and I try to get whatever I've done so I don't have to go back to it, because if you go back once you've advanced a little bit, you can break it off pretty easy. So I try to get everything down to about the size I want it. In the past, I've used smaller tools, and they actually have like an ornament Christmas that Pinnacle made, and I've got that, and I use these little tiny tools to make really fine finials. But for this, I was trying to just see if I could make one and get it done. And so when you make a finial like this, you're eventually going to try to make you're going to have a triangle that the base is going to be bigger and the top here is going to be a nice, come right down to a point. So you try to follow the triangle all the way down. I'll show that in a minute. The Foydel will cut off a lot of this, and maybe I'll use my detail gouge or parting tool like that. That's a great parting tool, by the way. It's made by Doug Thompson, and I don't know why, but it cuts so much better than all my other parting tools I've got. There's the Foydel. Those things really take the wood down. If you can see, I'm trying to keep a little bit of an angle on the wood there so I can. A small skew chisel could have done a good job with that too. Years ago, I was able to do this a lot easier than I am today. I don't know if my vision's not quite as the same as it was, but I think I need magnifiers when I'm getting down to some small work, because I seem to miss a lot. I'm getting kind of close to the chuck, but it's like I said, I'm so cheap. I wanted to get both pieces out of the same one. the piece that meets the sphere that I'm turning right there, I turned it back in so that when you push it up against the sphere, it goes on an angle, but then the angle comes back in, and like right there. I think I'm getting close to being done. As I'm doing it, I'm constantly seeing something I'm not happy with, and I try to go back and improve it. But you can't go back too far, especially when I'm only on about looks like about a quarter inch, or maybe a little bigger, 10, and maybe 3/8. I'm going to take it down to 5/16, and then there it goes. Okay, so anybody have any questions at this point? What I was talking about was drilling holes in your sphere. If you drill a hole in the sphere coming around here, like maybe 3, 4, 5 1/8-inch holes, when you're turning out the inside, when you're turning that out, hollowing it, you can look from the outside and see the wall thickness of your sphere. So like on this one, that's what I did. Okay.
That's cool.
I drilled the holes first, and then I knew I could go down. I'm at about a 1/16 of an inch in there. It's hard to pierce when you're doing anything thicker than like a 1/16 of an inch. So anyway, so that is what that particular one looks like. And then here's another one. This is all with the finials are dyed with trans tint, but the stuff that's on the actual sphere, that's just Sharpies. So that's probably one of my favorite finials right there.
What tool did you use for the piercing?
I have a NSK. It's a micro motor.
Okay.
I have a bunch of little bits that I use, and so I did that, and these are like, I got a whole box of them here, but these are like, I'll try to hold them smooth. These are different finials that I've turned that are sitting on the table waiting to be chosen to put into one of the spheres. A friend of mine used to be a Detroit wood turner named Steve Sharp, a young kid that was making a living out of this. And then when 2008 came around and we crashed and nobody was buying stuff at our fairs anymore, he decided he needed to get another job. So he kind of got out of wood turning, but he was way ahead of his time. And he had like a box of about 100 finials and he would always just play around to see which ones fit the particular wood grain or whatever. And it always worked out really good for him. And so I took, it's nice to see people's ideas and learn from them, and that's kind of why I'm doing this demo, is because I've learned from so many other people, and if I can give back, I'll try to do that.
So Mike, the carbide tool you used for hollowing, was that a round, the tip of the tool, is it round cutter or is it?
Yeah. I used to get these at a place called Carbide Depot, and it's only about 3/8 circle, and I think they cost about $5 or $6 a piece or something. And then I just made this piece of metal here. And there used to be a gang of us from the Detroit club that used to get together every Tuesday night years ago and make tools and stuff. That, I don't know if you saw my hollowing system, my center steady rest and all that out in the shop when I did the shop tour, but we made everybody made those, and we'd make all different kind of tools, and it was a fun thing to do. Here's what I talked about. There's my pen mandrel, and I made this piece here just to be a spacer so that I could tighten it up. But on this particular sphere, it's hollowed out and everything. And because the tenon goes in on an angle, you can tighten it pretty good, and it doesn't, all it wants to do is maybe make it tighter in the hole. It doesn't break it through or nothing. And I can put this on the lathe now, and I can sand it more, or I can finish it on the lathe, polish it on, do whatever I want. But this mandrel fits the 5/16 really good. So that was that. Any more questions? So my next thing,
Mike, how fast were you turning that when you were turning the finial?
the speed on the lathe,
Yeah.
I'm usually up around 1500 or something when I'm turning something that small in diameter.
Okay.
There might have even been a few times I went higher than that, but about 1500, I guess. And so the reason they wanted me to make 2 ornaments, and I picked the two ornaments I picked, I was able to use the same 4 tools. That's why I did it, because I thought it's good tool practice to use the same tool. So on this one, let's see, there's a snowman that I use puffy paint for the eyes, and you can even for the orange one, you can put that puffy paint out and make it come out like a carrot, and it'll dry like that. So I turn the hats off, and then I take after I make the snowman, I'll take the body and push it on a sander and make an angle on his head, and then I'll glue the hat back on, and then it looks like he's wearing his hat and kind of trying to be a pretty cool snowman, I guess. So that's what he looks like. And the band that's on there, the dark band, you could paint the hat black if you wanted to before you put it on. I just made the band black by using a piece of Formica pressed up against it, and it burns the wood. And so these are some snowmen that they're easy and quick to make. I can probably make one of these in about 10 minutes or something. And
I saw an interesting thing. It's not a question for decorating snowmen. Is the coloured pins. You know, the stick pins that you put into notice boards and things that have got coloured heads, and you trim them off and put them in instead of painting them. And I thought that was a pretty neat idea for eyes and nose and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Matte pins. Yep.
Yeah.
Matt, do you have any bushings in that pen mandrel?
That pen mandrel?
Yeah.
I do. I just have a couple bushings in there, the ones that fit on the mandrel, actually. And they're, I don't even know what pen they're for, but they were just enough they just have a flat edge on. I didn't use the side that would go inside the pen bushing. I just made a flat one in there, just enough to tighten it to be able to sand it and finish it.
Thank you.
The paint that I use is, I've used it for a lot of other things, but you can actually make the eyes or the carrot for the nose pop out, and this stuff has like a 3-dimensional effect. It's 3D paint, so it works out pretty good. Once it's dry, it'll actually, you could have it come out a half inch and it'll stay like that. Okay, well, next thing I'm going to show is making the snowman. So I'm ready to do that. Here I kept the tailstock up while I got my wood round. I tried to make both of these videos fit into a half an hour because I think they only wanted a total of 45 minutes or an hour. And so I made a couple that didn't work out so well on a smaller lathe. I tried to use a friend to help me film it, but because my big lathe, I can't get anybody behind my big lathe. It's up against the wall, kind of.
So, Mike, what kind of wood are you using for these?
Maple, almost exclusively maple. I use some black walnut sometimes, and if I have some cherry, I'll try to use that too, but that's about all. I don't like using oak, and I don't know, I just, I had for a while, for a long time, I had an abundance of maple, and I'm running out now, so I'm gonna have to start thinking about something else.
What was the brand name of the 3D paint?
I got it at Michael's, and it's called Scribbles. Just like you scribble something. Scribbles Shiny Bright Orange 3D paint.
Thank you.
Yeah, they use that on clothing.
Yeah, they do. That's right.
Yeah.
You can make it like, they call it puffy paint, some of the people
Yes.
that do.
Mm-hmm.
So this is trying to figure out the size of the hat. It looks like it's going to be so small, but it ended up fitting the little snowman I made pretty good. I've seen them. I saw one today. I don't know where on the internet. I was like looking around and stuff, and somebody made a snowman with a hat that was half again the size of his body. You know, so if the thing was 4 inches tall, the hat was over 2 inches. It was a great big stovepipe. It looked pretty cool. So I made probably 10 spheres, maybe another 10 to 20 finials, and I don't know, 3 or 4 snowmen. And I never had to sharpen these tools. They're all just as sharp as when I put them on. And especially that Badan, it really stays sharp and it really cuts.
What brand is that, Badan?
I think it's a Sorby. Yep, Robert Sorby. I think I first saw Jean-Paul Escalon using the people in France seem to use it quite a bit. I don't know. They use it like a skew, and they do all kinds of stuff with the Badan. And I saw it at a demonstration at a AAW convention, and I thought, I need to get one of those. And ever since I got it, I quit using the skew as much as I used to because I just like it better. Here I'm putting a piece of Formica on that band. You don't have to hold it on there too long, and it's like using string, but it gives you a wider piece of, or wider burnt section.
Mike, did you say you were using your iPhone for your camera or your phone?
No, I got a little Sanyo, I think. It's a small little camera. I have a light bar that hangs above my lathe, and I just made a hook out of a piece of wood and put a 1/4 inch 20 screw on it and was able to just screw the camera right to it. And so where I live, my partner Jane, she likes to set up little things on like the dining room table. She'll make an assortment like in the fall. Right now there's a whole bunch of chestnuts that I turned and different little boxes of different things. And when Christmas will come, she'll set up all those little Christmas trees I made with the different Santa Clauses and snowmen and have a little scene like, and so she likes doing that. I don't sell my stuff anymore. I used to sell a long time ago, and I quit selling. I got a bunch of sisters, and everybody wants me to give them stuff for their birthdays and Christmas, so I give it all away. So on this tool, if you can get the bevel on the wood and ride the bevel, come bring it around like that, takes some practice, and I haven't used it as much as I used to in the last few years. So I'm not as, I don't know, everything I do now, it's a memory thing, and it's like I always got to wait for the carousel to come around to get the stuff off the carousel. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but my memory isn't as good as it used to be. So
You're not alone, my friend.
I think it's getting old is all. And also, Jeff was talking earlier about, you know, people getting through this COVID, and I read a big article yesterday on a thing they were calling brain fog. A lot of people are suffering. You know, no one's going out in their shops as much and stuff because, or doing the things that they used to like to do. And this article that this doctor had written was about it's called like a brain fog. We're all into a whole different way of life right now. You know, we're not seeing friends. We're not going out and having a good time. And it's been going on for 8 months. So I guess we're all experiencing it. And
I call it hibernation, like a bear.
And here's the other thing about these snowmen. I mean, as rough as it looks on the lathe, when you get it off and you decorate it, put the hat on, people who aren't wood turners could care less if it's not perfectly round or not. They like it if it's cute. And so when you're selling them, I mean, if you want to sell them to wood turners, you got to sit there and sand them and make them right. But if you just want to make them and give them away, you can make them pretty fast. And
well, we were talking about this the other day. I've seen a lot of snowmen out in people's yards, and I've never seen a perfectly round one yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Including the ones I made when I was a kid.
Yeah. So I think this is getting close to the end. I'm sorry if I'm boring everybody, but
you are not.
So right now, just part off the snowman, then I'll take it over to my disc sander, and I'll sand the head on an angle, and then I'll come back and I'll set the head on the angle, and you can see how it looks. It's setting like that. So now I'm going to show. So when I'm doing ornaments, I've been talking about different size finials, different sizes, this and that. I got like 5 boxes of Christmas stuff that I put out, and I don't have a tenth of it out right now, but I've got all my mother died, I don't know, 10 years ago or something, but she was really into crafts, and she had a whole box of all these little teeny Christmas decorations. So I've got that, and sometimes when I make an inside out ornament, I'll hang one of these little things that she's got in there, a snowflake or something. But and in this one here, there's that glitter that I was talking about earlier. It's right there. And then that's your regular size glitter. Here's the Christmas trees that I haven't glittered yet. And so anyway, here goes. I'm going to show you. I set my table up when I'm making ornaments with all these different pieces, and I sit there and play and try to put them together. There's a bunch of the spheres I've turned. Different size finials for different things. There's one real big one there. But I used to make a lot of birdhouses. People really like birdhouses. And there's a snowman. There's a couple other little types of snowmen there. So I usually will throw a whole bunch of stuff on the table like that, and I'll just start working and playing and making things. And when I'm done, I maybe have 15 or 20 ornaments. So that's it. So thanks for everybody for watching, and I hope I didn't put you to sleep.
Not at all.
Good job, Mike.
Any questions for Mike before we switch away?
I got
Nice job.
one.
Nice job.
Who said that?
Mike, I have a question. Just a second ago, you showed some snowmen that look like little, just little ornaments.
Yeah, they're right here, I think, like that guy.
Yeah, yeah. Can you put a better picture, like on our Facebook page of those?
I could, yeah. They're these are really quick to make. Holy cow! You know, I mean, I don't cut the hats off or nothing. I just one thing, right? Just wipe it right down, and you can use a pen blank for that because they're so small. That's what's nice about them.
Right. That's what I like about it.
So that's what they look like. These two guys. I drew hair on the one with a Sharpie, but this Christmas ornament, I think I showed everything I wanted to show. And some people earlier may not have seen my Christmas trees, but there's the one with the big glitter. I think the big glitter kind of really comes out well.
That's cool.
Here's the one with the small glitter. And what I do is I roll the tree in a solution of half and half water and wood glue. I paint it on there real good, and I roll the thing onto the table. I got a piece of paper I'll put down with a bunch of glitter, and I'll roll it through the glitter once or twice, and then take the paper, fold it, and dump the rest back in the bottle, and it seems to stick on the trees pretty good. So,
Thanks, Mike, for a good demo.
Here's a couple on the tops that I've made, different size tops, different shape tops, you know, things that will go on different. There's a whole bunch of them here. I got, you know, I just make these things up and lay them on the table when I'm done, and they snap into
Mike, what is that top you have on the tree?
That was one of the things my mother had, and it's a star that she had a whole box of those kind of things, and it's a glitter star, and I just glued it in top of the tree like that.
Very nice.
Yeah. Anybody else? Well, Mike, you got a lot of people on chat saying thanks and great job.
One thing I did want to say, Joe. Oh. Since COVID's going on, I can't really do this, but once this is all over, anybody that watched the demo or wants to learn more about any of these kind of things or anything else, my shop is always available. You just got to call me and we'll set up a time and come on over and we'll turn things on the lathe. So.
I think you also had a great idea there with making all these finials ahead of time. That would be an excellent thing for us right now to get back into the shop. Something that we can work on and take our mind off everything. And I know I need more practice with the spindle gouge and skew. So, you know, that would be a great thing. And I never thought about making a bunch ahead of time. Yeah.
Look them up on the internet. There's a lot of different ones, and there's a lot of reasons from going from one thing to a next. You know, there's like where you're supposed to stop and do a, you know, I forget what they call everything, but there's a ton of them on the internet. And when you start making them, it's actually pretty fun, and no two ever end up being the same. And right. I don't know, I like doing it. My friend Steve Sharp is the one that's told me about that, and I miss him a lot. He was a great turner.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Mike.
Hey, well, thank you for watching.
Very good demo.
Great job. Great job.
I'm going to come back to me. There we go. Okay, one thing I didn't mention earlier, I meant to, is our tool raffle. We have, if you don't know, we have a tool that we're raffling off. And let me get to my, that's not where I want to go. I want to share screen. Go here. Okay, let's get rid of this. Well.
Oh, pop back.
I'll do this at home. I'm a professional.
I was so nervous, Jeff, about doing it because I never did it before, you know.
Okay, there we go. Now I got to move some things around to get to it. There it is. I see things on my screen since I'm the host that you don't see, so I have to move things around. So can everybody see this okay?
Yep.
Yes.
This is the John Jordan Halloween system, and this is what we have in our tool raffle right now. As of 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today, we've sold 9 tickets. They're $5 each. We need to sell a minimum of 30 tickets. So I'm encouraging everybody to go out to our website, to the members only area, and you'll find the link. And you can buy more than 1 ticket. Don't feel like you just have to buy 1 ticket. Buy more. And once we sell a minimum of 30 tickets, then we will raffle this off to the winner of the ticket holder. Your receipt will be your ticket. And I'm hoping we can raffle this off at Christmas. This would be a great Christmas gift for somebody. So go to the club's website, the members only page, and click on the link for a tool raffle and buy your tickets. They're $5 a piece. And it's an interesting system. I've never used one, but I've known quite a few people that have used them and loved them. So, okay then, let's get back to stop sharing. Okay, let's do our tool review. Does anybody have a tool to review? Make sure you unmute yourself.
How's everybody doing today?
Doing good.
So this past week, I picked up a couple of new tools. One of them is this, you might have seen it on Facebook already. You might be having a hard time seeing with my background, but it's a Thompson 1-inch skew. Started using it this morning. It's a beautiful tool. Works great. Love it. I also got a Thompson 3/4 inch bowl gouge. So that makes about 7 Thompson tools I had so far. I'm loving these Thompson tools. Like his handles. Highly suggest to anybody that doesn't have them yet.
Okay, anybody else? Give me a second here. I'm pulling up something on my phone that I want to show everybody. But I've got to be linked to the tool. Anybody else got a tool they like to review or show off? And it doesn't have to be a new tool.
Just give me a minute. I'll go and get something out of the workshop that people might be interested in.
Jeff?
Yes.
While he's getting that, may I show you this?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay. So this is a set I just got and it's how to make rings.
Oh, ring tools, yeah.
I don't know how I got those because I thought that would be fun to learn how to make rings.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how to do that. If someone could tell me how to use these tools, could you see them?
There are a lot of videos out on YouTube. There's a lot of videos out there on YouTube. On Instagram, there's a young lady called She Turns Wood, and she makes rings all the time.
Who?
She Turns Wood. That's on Instagram.
She Turns.
Wood.
I don't know how to get to Instagram.
Well, you got to have the app, and you got to sign up.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
You can go to Instagram.com.
Yeah.
Or to the App Store on your phone, iPad, tablet, or laptop.
And then it'll prompt you and you just follow the prompts?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty simple to use. But there's also a ton of YouTube videos out there that are very clear and concise.
So I just go to YouTube for that?
Yeah, and just search on ring tool or making rings, turning rings.
Is that
Turning rings.
making
Okay.
Search for
captive rings? Captive
Yeah.
rings or finger rings?
Yes, captive rings. Yeah.
Captive.
Okay, yep.
Right. I used to do a lot of boxes and things years ago, and people measure the depth by either poking their finger in there and working it out that way. But I found the easiest way to do it is just get a bit of plywood and cut a slot down it. And if you're really techo, you can put measurements down here if you wanted to. And you just sit it in like that, automatically hits the bottom and shows you where the bottom is on the outside.
What a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
great idea.
So simple yet brilliant.
I know.
Can you show that again?
Certainly. Like I say, if you want to get techo, you can actually put measurements down the outside of it here. You just slip it over the edge, and it gives you the depth of where your bottom and everything is.
Thank you.
That is cool. Thank you.
I got one for you too.
Okay, go ahead,
Jeff.
Cindy.
I don't know if you know, but a lot of people are getting into segmented, which I am. And sometimes you have problems on your bandsaw or your table saw setting up the right angle and making sure it stays there. Rockler just came out with this bandsaw blocks, which I'll show you one of them real quick. And it's 3 pieces. It goes from, let's see here, it goes from 4-sided to 12-sided on the blocks. And you just basically set it up on your, whatever you call that. I can't remember what it is. Cool. But just set it on that. And they're only $40. And they're really heavy duty. I mean, you know, and they're all etched and engraved, and you can just go to which side you want, set it up, and start up cutting away.
Cool idea. Thank you. I'm going to highlight myself and show you something. Well, I thought I highlighted myself. There we go. Okay, I don't know if anybody's ever seen this before. This device, it's very long, but I keep it coiled up because I don't need the length. But this is called a bore scope. It's used by gunsmiths. And what it does is it syncs up with your phone or your tablet. And this is actually a camera on the end. So you can use it. I'm going to stick it into my, can you see that okay? That's going down my spindle of my lathe. And I find when I'm doing a hollow form, I guess maybe I'm a little too anal or something. I got to see what's going on the inside. So I use this rather than leaning over all the time. Here's another view of another part of my lathe. See if I can get that. I'm probably getting too close to something right now, so it's. And you can adjust the light on it to be brighter or dimmer. Cool little device, and it was like $15 on Amazon.
Is that Bluetooth?
No, it's actually a Wi-Fi connection.
Oh, Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that one surprised me. I expected it to be Bluetooth.
You can get ones that are USB and plug right into your phone too.
Okay.
And usually they come with a little dongle for whichever, you know, if you've got a lightning connection or a USB-C or whatever, it comes with something that'll fit that.
Okay.
That's cool. What's it called again? A bore scope?
A bore scope, yeah. B-O-R-E.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
This particular brand is called Endoscope, which sounds like something they stick in you for medical stuff that you don't want stuck in you.
That's exactly what it's for.
Are you doing colonoscopies now?
I will put it in my hollow forms. That's the only thing I want to stick it in.
Need an income somehow.
Just discounts colonoscopies.
Just don't try it, Jeff.
What's that?
Don't try it.
Okay. Anybody else got anything they want to show?
I have a tool here I could show.
Okay.
I love using the skew. So I had to buy myself a Russian lathe knife. I can go harpoon hunting, shark hunting with this bad boy. It's used the exact same as a skew. It's just hell of a lot more dangerous, so to speak, if you don't know what you're doing. But it is a Russian lathe knife. It was made by a fellow hand forged in Hungary. And then, of course, I made my own handle.
Very nice.
Nice, yeah.
Question for you, Cade.
Yep.
The skew is my favourite weapon. I've been using one for over 40 years, so I'm pretty good with one. Did you have a great deal of trouble using that? I've tried those Russian knives, and I had a great deal of trouble. I got them to cut all right, but they're very, very skitty, you know, like with the skew, of course, you rock over the heel of the bevel and bring the cutting edge into contact. With those, they're either in or out.
Yes, yeah. Just like the skew, you only want to use that bottom third or the top third, depending what type of cut you're making. You don't want to be supported in a cut here and go past that center line, because you will get a very violent catch and it will skate away probably into your chuck.
Yeah, well, that's what I found. It took a lot of practice to get used to using it, probably because of the long bevel on the sides of the cutting edge, because the bevel starts right up near the shaft, of course. It hasn't got a secondary bevel in it.
No, it's just one single bevel, which is honed to a glass finish. This never touches the grinder. It just touches the honing stone or a whetstone. But I find majority of the cuts, I'm always using that bottom third. But if I go from a larger diameter to a finer diameter, you can creep up into this area with a proper hold and proper technique. Otherwise, you're going to get one hell of a catch. But you just slip down the piece, you do your fine detail here, and then straight back onto that bottom third where you're supported.
Yeah, I actually like the long point on it, because, geez, it slices through end grain like nothing on earth.
Yeah, yeah. It's great for doing your V-cuts and entry cuts.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
So you don't have a hollow ground on that?
No, it's one continuous ground, no double bevel, one single bevel all the way across.
One single. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a flat grind.
And you never, you just hone these. You don't touch them to your grinder, because they'll be gone within seconds.
But is that a flat grind, or is it a convex? Or
convex? No, it's totally flat. Totally flat.
Totally flat. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. That's a cool tool.
Thanks. Look it up on YouTube. Russian lathe knife.
Yeah, I must admit, I like the way the women do the Petrushka dolls with them.
Isn't that something how fast they are doing those dolls? It's unbelievable.
Yep,
and the accuracy.
Look up, if you want to know how to use them, look up the video for how they're making those nesting dolls or the Matrushka dolls, like Robbo said.
Yeah.
Our club did a group buy of these about a year ago from a guy in the UK. They were slightly different. So in our discussion, I don't know, this past week, Cade, I think I showed mine, didn't I? But I prefer your design, the one you have from Martin Clarkson, a lot better.
Yeah, you had the disposable tips that would go in a shaft, similar to like skate blades for carbide cutters or hollowing. This one is one solid unit. You can buy it handled or unhandled. Of course, handled is double the price. Unhandled is less expensive, and it's quite easy for us to turn our own handles. And again, it's great practice for skew or spindle gouge, whatever you like to use.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Cade.
No problem. I have one more thing, if anyone's interested. It's a homemade tool, but the price was right. So this is my thin kerf parting tool. It's actually an old chef knife I got at a garage sale for 25 cents.
Oh, wow.
I ground the bottom off, of course, so it wasn't sharp. I could hold it and it wouldn't ding and dent my tool rest. I ground the tip so it's like a parting tool. And with a knife, naturally, it tapers from the top of the knife to where the blade was. So I can use this very efficiently, go in, and I'm only contacted between the top portion of the steel, so it doesn't heat up and blue quite as fast as your straight-sided parting tools.
That's a cool idea.
It works quite well. I mean, I bought a whole bunch of these, and it's chrome, stainless steel. I bought a whole bunch, and I made a couple knives, hunting knives, gutting knives for friends. And the amount of drill bits I broke trying to drill this stuff to create tangs for handles was horrendous. So it's really good steel. You can sometimes find some really good buys at garage sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great idea.
So we should all go
Great
upstairs
idea.
and get our wife's steak knives and
Yeah, bring them. Wait till she's at work for sure.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else? Last call for tool review. Okay, I'm going to highlight me, and we are going to do the President's Challenge. So let me get back to my screen. Share. There that is. Let's get that out of here. President's Challenge. There we go. I'm just moving things around. So here we go. We had 14 entries, which was very impressive. This first one is Alfred Chambry. And this again was from Matt's demo on orienting the log for an asymmetrical look on a live edge. Let me get this out of here. So this is giving me a hard time. Okay, one down here. This is Ben Shipman's. Oh, good, my bars are. This is Ben Shipman's. This is Dave Alar, and I hope I pronounced that right, Dave. If not, I'm sorry. This is Don Warren's. This is Glenn McCullough's. This is James Lindsay. Two interesting takes on it. This is Matt Harbour. Mike Lenaway. Paul Newberger. And our very last entry last night was Paul Schultz. So there's 14 in total. So I'm going to get back to me. Stop share. And we are going to we're going to select the winner. I found, once again, my handy dandy randomizer. And I've put in, let's see, let's change this out to 14 total. And here we go. 7. Number 7's the winner. Ron Pullman, you have won the President's Challenge. You'll be receiving a craft supply certificate, gift certificate.
Thank you very much.
So
I don't think you showed my my great work of art.
No, yours was up there.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I think you missed a couple because mine didn't come up either, but I saw it in your thumbnails.
Really? Well, let me get back.
They all looked really good. Nice job, everyone. Very well done.
Well, thanks, Matt. It was a good demo.
So you can take that $10 certificate and buy $1,000 worth of stuff. So.
I don't think you
That's
showed
always
mine
how it
either,
works, yeah.
Jeff.
Well, let me go back. 'Cause I feel bad. I was having a little trouble there at first. So there's Alfred's, Ben's, David, Don, Glenn.
You stopped at Paul's. It's probably in alphabetical order, so you probably have a whole bunch more there afterwards.
Okay, there's Matt, Mike, Paul Newberger, Paul. You're right. I am so sorry. There's Paul Zirkles. Bill Stevens. Richard Megnick. Again, sorry if I mispronounced your name. And Ron Pullman. And that's all of them. Did I miss anybody? And
Very
here's the
nice.
review.
They all look great.
Okay, so and let's see, it was number 7. I want to mark these so I don't forget them. Okay, next is our Facebook challenge. We had 25 people post images, excuse me, questions, and things like that, and even videos on our Facebook page. So I am going to set this to 25. And here we go. The winner is number 16. That's James Emonette is the winner of the Facebook challenge. And James, you will be receiving a craft supply gift certificate also. So everybody, thank you for taking part in that stuff. Again, the President's Challenge will be just simply called the Christmas Challenge next month, but you do have to get it out on Facebook. If you don't have a way of getting it out on Facebook or can't figure it out, send it to me at jeff@cbjeff.com, and I will get it up for you. Facebook postings are the same. You've got to post something up there, be it a video, an image, questions, whatever. All wood turning related. If you post something up there, your name will go on the list. And a question come up yesterday about this, and I do want to make it clear that Facebook and President's Challenge have to be members in good standing of the club for 2020. So that brings us up to our very last item. Does anybody have anything for show and tell they like to show off? Let us see what you've done.
I do. Jeff?
Yes.
I do. It's Howard.
Who was it?
Howard Clock.
Howard? Oh, there we go. Hi, Howard.
So I share my screen here.
You can share it if you want, Howard. Do you have the option?
Yeah.
Okay.
So can you see that?
We're still seeing you.
Oh, lucky guys.
When you do share screen, you have to, it'll ask you what window to share. And you have to click on that.
Okay. Share screen. Host has disabled participant screen sharing.
All right, that's you, Jeff. You've got to enable it for people. You have it with you? Can you just hold it up to the camera?
Nope, I don't. It's too big.
Whoa.
Matt, how do I enable screen sharing for everybody? Is that under video?
I don't know. I don't have that as an option myself, so I don't know how you do it.
Okay.
You just click on the screen share, and when you click on it, it'll ask you to. Jeff,
oh, I see. Okay, thank you. There we go. Give it a try again, Howard.
All right, good.
There we go.
All right. During these times of COVID, I've been working on, we had a small fire at our house. So I've been coming in on weekends and evenings, and I've made this is a walnut sink that I
Need
made.
to expand it, Howard.
Pardon me?
Need to expand it. All we see is the thumbnails.
Oh, well, that's no good.
Well, I can see why you didn't have it with you.
Yeah. How about that?
There we go.
That's a bigger sink right there.
There you go. All right. That's
Wow.
that's 16 inches in diameter. And let me see if I can get to the next image. Whoop. So this is the back side. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, very
So
cool.
I have to give a huge shout out to Roger, who helped me figure all this stuff out. This is a slab. It's a 7-foot slab of maple, and here's the back side of the sink. So there's two progressive recesses in there. One is to accept the pipe, and that was 1 3/4 inch, and then in order to tighten the nuts down and stuff, I had to open this, do another opening here, and that was 2 3/4. So every time I would put this back on the lathe to try to start another drilling, I was terrified because, one crack and bam, it's gone. So let me get another shot here.
What's the finish on that?
This is about 15 coats of water locks.
Oh, okay.
And water locks it's a finish that's been around for a long time. And there's a wax finish on top of that. So could use a little polishing, but anyway, this was the first water test, and it went well, went fine.
That is just beautiful.
Thank you.
I like that faucet with it too.
Thank you. So Roger and Roger helped me out with this, figuring out all the different steps and how to pull it off.
Yeah. Cool.
That's what you were talking about before, Jeff, about reaching out to other club members.
Yes.
Who always are there and willing and ready and able to bounce ideas and how would I do this?
Yeah.
So
Well, we have a wealth of information in our club.
there you go. Stopping sharing.
Okay, great.
Was that turned end green, Howard?
Yeah, the pith was actually right where the spout is.
Excellent. Okay, anybody else got something to show?
Yeah, Jeff, Bruce Groff here.
Hi, Bruce.
Got something I did earlier this year. I don't think I ever showed it to anybody, but the platter. And Paul talking about doing leaves and so forth before reminded me of this. So I dug this out quick, but I did this earlier this year. I actually took dried leaves and glued them to the rim of the platter and put probably a dozen coats of both spray on and wipe on poly to be sure that those leaves were well cemented down so there were no edges that, to catch.
Well, that's cool. Wow.
A little different idea anyway, and I thought you might be interested.
Did you use a spray glue to glue those down?
Yeah, I used both spray poly and wipe on poly because the wipe on you can put on a little bit thicker and otherwise
Yeah.
I'd probably still be spraying.
That's a
but
nifty idea. I really like that.
quite well. And being fall and kind of, it's kind of seasonal too. But and all these different types of leaves. My wife actually drives leaves for her art projects. And so I had no end of resource for different types of leaves. So I thought I'd give some of this a try, and quite pleased with the way it turned out.
I really like that. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So not all your leaves have to go in the bag out the curb.
No, we just go. I catch my wife out there regularly out picking up leaves, not raking them, but picking them up for her collection. So.
Yeah. Excellent. Anybody else got something?
Oh, Jeff, Ron Pullman here.
Hey, Ron.
So this May, my one of my neighbors cut down a big old maple tree, and I retrieved a couple of logs. So I've been making cutting little bowl blanks and making bowls. So I've made a bunch of different types, sizes, and so forth. And I find it interesting. People talk about that the wood kind of talks to you what it's going to look like when it's done. So I really haven't got a plan on what I'm doing, but I'm just making different styles. This is the third one I made. I've got another 5 to make. So anyway, just something I'm experimenting with as a new turner.
Yeah, you can have an idea for a bowl and a shape of a bowl, but the wood tells you what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
it's great practice to play with the forms and find ones you like and ones that work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice job, Ron.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Ron. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've got something.
Hi, Mark.
So these are pizza cutters from Rockler, and I took some Western figured maple. This is the same piece of wood. This one, I stained it with black, sanded it off, stained it with black, sanded it off, stained it with black, sanded it off, then put red on it, sanded it off, 2 or 3 times. So I started with 80 and ended up with, 400. Then I buffed it, after that, I then put on Danish oil, let it cure, and then I buffed it with, the Beal system. This one, I started out with aqua blue and did the, 3 or 4, stain it, sand it, stain it, sand it, so that the figuring is what's picking up. Then I stained it with yellow, and that turned it this greenish color.
That is really interesting. I love that grain.
Oh yeah, this is Western figured maple.
Oh, okay.
Very nice, Mark. Very
Those
nice.
Christmas gifts?
Birthday presents.
Birthday presents, okay.
So, with my 8 children, I got to figure out something to do with them. So Rockler was having a sale a couple of weeks ago. So I went and I bought 10 of these things. So that's what I'm going to be passing out for birthday presents for the next year.
And no one can say the other got a better present than them. Anybody else?
Sandy?
I have a couple of things.
Okay, I heard 2 people there are.
Go ahead, Cade.
Okay. I have a couple of things here. I have a huge crabapple bowl I've been working on. It's just in my finishing process. I'll switch my camera around here. This is a 18-inch diameter crabapple bowl. Had beautiful figuring in it. The wall thickness is 3/8 of an inch, and the finish is tung oil. Wow. As I go across here are some small live edge bowls. This one here is mulberry, which is 1/8 of an inch thick. This piece here is poplar, which is a 1/16 of an inch wall thickness. And then these 2 here are poplar with a torched rim, and they are turned to 1 millimeter wall thickness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool, Cade.
That is cool.
How do you get the tung oil so shiny?
Sanding and buffing and polishing. I do sort of a French polish technique with curing oils.
Oh, wow. Really nice.
Okay.
Thanks.
How many coats are on that?
Very nice. Very nice.
On the apple bowl, so far I have probably 4 coats on top. There's a couple little hazy spots in there, so it's not quite finished. But by the end of it all, there'll probably be 10 coats on the inside and 10 coats on the outside. The poplar ones absorb stuff like a sponge, so they're probably 14 to 16 coats. The harder the wood, the less the coats. Softer the wood, it absorbs like a sponge. But I like shiny. I love shiny. I've acquired the nickname Mr. Shiny at quite a few of the different guilds that I attend. But I like shiny, I guess.
What's a coat take to dry? A day? 24 hours?
Pardon?
How long does a coat take to dry? 24 hours?
I use cured tung oils. So it takes, well, depending on the time of the year, how cold it is. In our winter months, it is quite damp and chilly in my basement. So it takes probably 8 to 10 hours to dry. In the summer, it might take about 4 hours to dry. So the full finishing process is about a week.
Yeah.
Depending on the size of the piece, of course.
Looks good.
I like shiny too, and I found when I do craft sales that shiny sells.
Yes, I find if it's smooth and it's shiny, women love that sort of thing.
Yes.
And it sells, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Awesome work. Thank you. I thought
Thank
I
you.
heard Sandy say she had something.
Yep, let me go to her if I can find her. There you go.
I do. Hi.
There she is.
I'll use Sandy.
But that's a tough act to follow. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
Very inspiring.
Thank you.
I have a little 8-inch platter that I found this piece of burl, and so I just did a little platter. And I like the wood so much I didn't want to put paint on it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't color anything like that. That's beautiful.
And
Yeah,
all
that's
all
pretty.
I used on it was butcher block oil.
Yeah.
If you have any suggestions on what to put on that's food safe, I'd like to know.
Well, like we said, everything is food safe once it's cured.
Ah.
I've gotten to the
Butcher block
point
is a good
though
choice.
where I am just, I use the axe paste and polish, and then I buff. I've been buffing everything, and it really does make a difference. But yeah, anything, be it lacquer or poly or anything like that, once it's cured, it's safe.
Great. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else?
Jim Strohmeyer, New Turner.
Oh, Jim.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
I've recently was able to pick up a couple of small logs from a cherry tree that had been down for some length of time, so it's a bit of cracking on the ends. This is still really in the rough stage, but it's a small cherry bowl. I think it'll be really nice when it's done. And it's still pretty green. It was about maybe 18% when I turned it. So I put a little glue on the ends, like Paul had showed me. And then I was actually, in order to wanted to get it rolling, so I, based on some things that I picked up somewhere, I put it in the microwave for about maybe 40% for about a half a minute. In a few hours, half a day later, I do it again. Never got it more than just lukewarm to the touch. And it's almost dry now for a second turning, and it came out almost totally unwarped.
Very nice.
So I think it'll be time for a little bit of second turning and some fun on it.
Yeah, I love cherry. It's
I was really enjoying it. I've also got a whole bunch of maple from a tree that's taken down across the street, so I'm working on some of those. Here's a little bowl that it's still quite thick, but I think it's also getting close to where I can
give it the second turning. I'd like to give it to the people that used to own the home that's now been torn down and a new one being built. So I'd love to give it to my old neighbors as a memento for their that or one similar to it, for their decades of living in the neighborhood.
It's nice when you do something like that. I had all that walnut I got from a friend of mine that had a walnut tree fall in his week old Cadillac. So I made him a salad bowl set. He was very pleased with that. So, okay, anybody else for show and tell?
I have a few pieces. If I
Okay,
may.
Matt.
Let me outline myself here. Yeah, these are some of the pieces that I showed in the challenge. This is one of my natural edge pieces, and I really like this the little OG I did on the base here. I liked how that turned out. I like the shape of this. Really nice.
Yeah.
I'm real happy with it. And this is a piece I turned, I don't know, a week or two ago. That was pretty wildly a little bit more off center. So and I went a little thinner on the stem with that. So this I've got some ornaments and some finials and stuff. So I don't know if you can see that against my shiny head. But this is a sea urchin ornament that I've sprayed gold and put finials and stuff in. And then there's this one that I did, and I don't know if I've shown this or not before. This is the Hampshire Sheen intrinsic colors, the water-based stain on the finial. It's the red. There was some discussion early in the meeting about bright red versus red, and that's why I ordered the trans tint to try to get a more vivid red. The ball is hollow, of course, but that's just some of the stuff I've done. So thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Is there a finial on maple, Matt?
Yeah, the finials are maple. On that piece, the body is choke cherry. The body's choke cherry, and the finials are hard maple scrap from out of the shop.
How many coats of that trans tint did you put on the finial?
Just one, maybe two. I don't know. I went over it, and then the second time you take a look at it. Oh, I missed a spot or two inside some of the crevices, and it's like. So, but it's just got the, I didn't lather it on there. I just did one coat, one plus coats. So it wasn't a lot of coats. So I like the dyes and stuff, the intrinsic colors, and they have a sample box you can buy that's got like 12 colors or something in it. And it works really well, especially on lighter woods, but it's not the real vivid colors that some of the others are. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got something seeing as everybody's showing off.
Okay.
Small goblet.
Wow.
That was 6 inches long. I'll have to convert from metric to inches for you lot. That's an 1/8 of an inch and a 1/16 of an inch in the thing. That's got no finish at all on it. It was done completely, including the hollowing, with a skew chisel. This one is 18 inches long. And all I did was just support that with a steady rest at the end. I don't use tennis balls or anything like that. And this one's a foot long. It's got a cracked base, but these were done at demonstrations, just showing off. So they haven't been finished or anything like that, and the finish is straight off the chisel. I tend to use a skew chisel for most of them. So that's my little bit of showing off anyway.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Anybody else?
I got some. There are a lot of people with your use of the skew chisel.
God love the skew, less sanding, if any.
The skew chisels, well, like I said, I've been turning for 40 years, and it is, I think I've worn out, I was working it out the other day, that I've gone through 95 skew chisels since I started turning.
Wow.
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 I got something, Jeff.
Okay, who's that?
Spill.
Oh, okay.
All you, Phil.
We got you.
So let's see if I get this in the right place so you guys can see it.
So after Mark's demo, actually this is I turned while Mark was turning in his demo. So this is a nice piece of what I got from Victor. You can see the curl in it, I think. You guys see it if I tip it a little bit in the center? Yeah. But you can definitely see it. I highlighted it using the dyes. So I put a yellow on the curl, and then I went back with a red on top of that, and then some green to give it these fall colors.
What dyes were you using, Phil?
These are the craft supplies with artisans or whatever.
Gotcha.
So we hold it still. There you go. Oh, it's backwards, but anyhow.
Upside down.
Upside down. There you go.
Still, it's backwards on my screen. May not be on yours. But again, you know, it's nice colors. And then I've been playing around.
Is that how you spell curly, buddy?
Say that again?
Is that how you spell curly?
I don't know. I don't really care. And then I've been playing around with some burning techniques. Don't drop it. So this one is so that right side up.
Yep.
Okay, so was it? I can't remember which artist it is that's done it, but he does his tool handles and he burns them, and I use the same technique to burn the bowl. And so I laid it down flat like this on a piece of wood and burned the outside, so I didn't burn the rim. And this is a piece of white oak that I got off the raffle table at the club. And then I put some wax in it to give it a little bit of color. You probably can't see it, but it's got a red tint to it because I used a ox blood or something like that shoe polish.
Oh.
Kind of fill in the open green. And if you do it right after you burn it while it's hot, it kind of melts in. So I like that technique. I've used that on a few tool handles. It works really well. It gives you a very, very nice feel.
Okay, excellent. Anybody else?
Yeah, I got a small cup to show.
Okay, and who was that?
That was Jay. There
Okay,
you go.
there you are.
A small cup. Just a small one.
What does a large one look like?
So you can have a drink. It's pine. It was just a roadside find. So.
You get a little beer in there, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, not too much.
Nice pint.
Very nice.
Bye.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I got something.
Okay, Alfred. Let's get you highlighted.
Oh, Alfred. Okay, this is. I saw a video of a guy from Australia, I believe, and his name is Theo, and he does this bowl in a bowl. And I wanted to try it. It's pretty involved. I don't know if anybody has seen the video, but what he does is he does the outside here is done with a light being projected on a piece of paper, because it has to be a perfect sphere, because then he holds it into a vacuum. So this has to be perfect so that it fits into the vacuum, and then it's oriented at one angle, and you do the outside, then it's oriented at 180 degrees off at the other angle to get the inside one. It looks intimidating, but really it's not once you start getting into it. It's a bit of a challenge, but I liked it. The wood is sycamore. It's got a really nice grain going into it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, there's some spalting going on too. And it was nice. I'm gonna try another one. Instead of doing two, I wanna try one with three bowls in a bowl.
Wow.
And that would be at like 120 degrees from each other, and see how that works, if it can even work. I'm not sure yet, but that's the intention. So yeah, this was a really nice project. I enjoyed it.
Nice job, Alfred.
Very nice. Very good. Thank you.
Well done.
Anybody else?
Just to add to that bowl in a bowl, yeah, Theo demonstrated it last Saturday or the Saturday before our time, but that's been around now for probably 4 or 5 years. I forget who did the original one there. I think it's going to be like the coloured pencils thing. That'll all be the phase like finials were a few years ago, coloured pencils were a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So bowls and bowls are going to be the new fad for a little while, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video earlier in the year where somebody did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Since I've done this with holding it in a vacuum, I found another way how you can hold it by using just a jam chuck. What I did is get another bowl with the rim being curved in, and you can put this in there and hold it at any angle that you want this way, and you jam it. It's the same way. It's a lot simpler and quicker way of doing it. So
that's actually the way. I think it was a European fella that did it, and that's exactly the way he did it.
Yes.
That's the way I do it because I'm too cheap to buy a vacuum system, or I'm too frugal to buy a vacuum system.
In a frugal vacuum system.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Another small point I'd like to bring up is I never date my work for the simple reason, like I haven't turned bowls as productions for probably 30 years. I'm a production turner that turns out legs, veranda posts, flag bowls, stuff like that. And but I found that if you dated your work, if it doesn't sell for a few years, people pick it up, and I've been so accustomed now to having use by dates on things, they think it's out of date. And it's a psychological thing.
Yes.
So I just use a code on it that tells me what the date is. I've got it recorded on the computer, but I never put a date on for that reason.
Yeah, I don't date anymore either. And I actually had a lady at a show pick up a piece that I had. It was about 2 years old, and it just wasn't selling. And she says, well, you haven't been able to sell this. You ought to have this thing on a discounted price.
Yeah, that's right.
And I haven't dated since.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
I don't date mine. I just do my name on it, and that's about it.
Yeah.
The name and what the word is, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I use a coin to date my things if I'm giving it away as a gift.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's different. I've got grandkids and kids as well, and if I'm giving them away as a present, yes, I'll put the date on them then. In the case of my wife, I actually had to put, this belongs to Julie Robertson, dated such and such, because she used to have a bad habit of everything I made for her, she gave it away.
Yeah, by the way, that Theo, it's hard to say his name. It's Haralampu. Yeah, he's doing demos every Friday night for Record Power. He's out of his Brisbane studio, I guess. So this last night he did, or Friday night he did a yo-yo. He did a I'm trying to remember. He did a 6-pointed star week before last. So anyway, I don't know if you can find the links, but he's a really fun guy to watch turn.
Okay,
very cool. Thanks, Ron. I've heard really good things about those Record Power demos.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty good.
Anybody else got anything to show?
Guess not. All you.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of our meeting. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Man, I got 59 people at the most. What did you have?
Most I saw was 53, but I'm willing to go with 59. So.
Yeah, we're at 59 right now. So nicely attended.
34. So okay.
Nicely attended. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. And remember, beat that depression, beat that fog, get into your shop and do something, even if it means you're just practicing. And stay safe. And we'll see you.
What's our President's Challenge this month, Jeff?
The President's Challenge is going to be, well, it's going to be actually called the Christmas Challenge. It's going to be an ornament, what Mike did today. So
thank you.
Okay, and it's okay if you want to submit that to Alan Stratton's also. You can put in both Alan Stratton's in our Christmas challenge also. So take care, everybody. Be safe, and we will see you next month. Bye.